people you haven't met yet, sit down. Find someone you haven't met yet.
Thank you.
You come to strangers and meet his family. Find someone you haven't met yet. So my friends, it was 7 days from today, 6 years ago, that Modere was launched in Beverly Hills, California. This was a day, I'm telling you, that will go down in history as the start of a revolution. This will be the day they'll look back and they'll say that was the day that MLM began to die and social retail began to rise. Since that day, we've acquired over 3 million new customers. We've done over 1 billion in sales. We've paid out people like us over $500 million in commissions. We've built an industry unheard of, 10-to-1 ratio. For every one of us, we have at least 10 customers. For those of us that can do the math of the teams we built in the past, you get a team of 50, that's not 50 potential orders, like in the traditional broken model. That's a potential of 500 orders because of the ratio. So you start to say, oh my goodness, what are we building? We built an industry unheard of. 85% customer model. My friends, we're in Vision 2020. Starting not just a new year, but a new decade. This vision started on a whiteboard. And all of the work that we've done for the last 6 years, all the Facebook Lives, all the Instagram stories, all the tears, all the nights you say, I'm done, I can't do this anymore, and you wanted to quit and you kept going. All of the times that you mentored your team, all of the customers that you acquired, all the new people that joined you, all of the blood, all the sweat, all the hard work, everything you put into this, whether you joined yesterday or whether you joined 6 years ago in Beverly Hills, all of it led us to this moment. It took us 6 years. And my friends, it took us 6 years to get to the start. And after today, your life will never be the same. This is a revolution. This is the rise. This is the beginning. Everything you've put into this, everything you've done, everything led us to the start line. We haven't even started this party yet. We haven't even disrupted the industry like we plan to disrupt the industry. The vision is just beginning. It's not ending. This isn't the middle. This is the very beginning. They'll look back and say, you were there at the beginning. They'll say, I was there at the 2020. They'll say, that was the start line. That's when you guys took off. I want to share with you how to create a 3D vision. A vision that you can look at from every angle. And it's your 3D vision for 2020. So that today, after today, your life will never be the same. Write this in your notes. Number 1 is you define your vision. I worked with a friend of mine years ago. His parents met in a Nazi concentration camp. And his dad would receive beatings that were so severe that he would go unconscious. And eventually after the war, they survived the camp and they were released, but they were basically people with no country. And with rags on their shoulders and literally pennies in their pocket, they got on a boat and they went to Ellis Island in New York City. And this man and this woman raised this little family, 5 boys, in a cinder block apartment complex. And these 5 sons grew up, they all became college educated, some of them began into ministry, some went into business. The one that I met did over $2 billion in business in network marketing. In fact, Justin, Sarah, and I were in Brussels, Belgium, doing a dinner one night with some of our leaders there. We hired a woman who was an E3 in Brussels, and she's actually from France. She's 30 years old. And I started talking about this man, and she goes, "Oh, how do you know him?" Pulls out her phone and shows me a picture when she's just a little girl with her parents, and he was her parents' mentor. And when he became a little older, and he started to understand what his father had actually been through, he asked his dad once, he said, "Dad, how did you make it through the camps? How did you survive?" And his dad said, "Son, when they would beat me," he said, "I'd go unconscious, and I would have a vision of you. I would have a vision of my boys." And he said, "It was the vision of my boys that kept me alive." As you cast out your vision and you define a vision, you need to have it. Your vision is what pulls you through the hard times. That's why you must define this. I want to share with you 3 ways you can do this. Number 1 is your vision has to be future focused. This man wasn't focused on the present, he was focused on the boys he was yet to have. That's what pulled him through this devastatingly challenging time. Your vision must be emotionally empowering. His vision of these boys, these sons that he was going to raise, gave him emotional strength, emotional fortitude to overcome the challenges and the horrific obstacles he was facing. And your vision must be others-oriented. My friends, you'll do things for others you won't do for yourselves. Have you ever watched your mama at Sunday dinner? Who eats first? Everyone else. Who eats last? The mama. The only one that eats after her is grandma. Moms will do things for everyone else before they even do it for themselves. Your vision, once you define it, will give you the emotional fortitude, the emotional strength. Visionaries do things today, like personal development, read books, attend events, because they're focused on their future. That's what visionaries are doing. They have emotional strength because of it. They're focused on the lives that they can touch, the people that they can inspire. They're others-oriented. Number 2, you want to declare your vision. So once you define it, the second step is you got to declare it. Start talking to people. I've done some work with John C. Maxwell. Raise your hand if you know John Maxwell. So Inc. magazine says the world's foremost authority on leadership, written over 100 books, 30+ million copies. And I've had some amazing experience, John. Eating dinner at his home, traveled the world, and we went to Costa Rica as part of this little small team doing a country transformation where they teach leadership principles and leadership values into developing countries around the world. And as I was there with John, there was this kind of small group of us, late nights, where you're just there together for the whole week. They've done this in Guatemala. They've had 461,000 in Guatemala people go through his training, 161,000 in Paraguay, and 13,000 while we were there in Costa Rica. One of the, as we went there, by the way, so check this out, we're there. We go to the U.S. Embassy. So it was like the U.S. Ambassador, John Maxwell, and me. What is going on in here, We went to the head of FIFA, the guy that runs all of FIFA, and met the Costa Rican soccer team, which that's a big deal in Costa Rica, right? We went into the National Theater, the Costa Rican theater, the famous theater. We went there and John taught all the business leaders of the community, all black tie, everyone's looking sharp. We went over to the police academy. They had 3,000 police cadets, and John taught them. We went and taught at the local university, amazing. 500 plus of the students, 18 to 26-year-old college kids. It's just an amazing experience. Teaching leadership principles, leadership values. Well, one of the people that was with this little intimate group was a woman with silver hair. And her name is Barbara. She was John Maxwell's original assistant when he was a pastor. When he was 25 years old, he actually started as a pastor. She was 28, he was 25. They were kids. They were working together as kids. And Barbara was there, and I asked her, how are you? How do you know John? She goes, he's like an older brother to me. She goes, for the last 40+ years, he's kept up with me. She worked with him when he was just a young man, with his wife Margaret. And when she moved away, they kept the relationship. But before she moved, she gave him a gift. And the gift was, she handed it to him, and he unwraps it, and it's a book. And the book is titled The Greatest Story Ever Told. This is not a good story, my friends. This is the greatest story ever told. So John likes books, so he flips open the book, starts looking at the pages, and they're blank. Every page is blank. There's no words in the book. There's no words in the greatest story ever told. So John goes, Barbara, there's no words in the book. She says, John, turn to the first page. So he turns to the first page, and she had written a handwritten note. Here's what she said. 25-year-old John Maxwell. John, your life is before you. You go fill this book with kind words and good deeds and matters of the heart. And you go write the greatest story ever told. So John, as a young man, took the book and then he declared his vision. He wrote 3 things in the book. Number 1, he wrote, I want to make a difference. What a powerful declaration of a vision. What is your life's vision? What difference is your life going to have? He declared, he defined the vision he had, and he started declaring, I want to make a difference. Second thing he wrote, with people who want to make a difference. That's a powerful declaration. How many of you have ever worked with people that they're toxic and they get around you, it's just not the right spirit and culture. You're around people that don't add to your betterment. His third thing he wrote was doing something that makes a difference. This was his declaration as a young man. I want to make a difference with people who want to make a difference, doing something that makes a difference. John Maxwell's had a profound impact on my life and on millions of people around the world, on their lives. And he's also had a profound impact on my little boy. My son's 15. And John called me a year ago when we were in California at Paramount Studios. John called him on the phone. He goes, I heard, Isaac, that you wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I heard you reading my personal development books and listening to my podcast. He said, I wanted a chance to meet you, Isaac. I'm going to sign a book and send it to you. He said, I hope one day, Isaac, I have the pleasure of meeting you and shaking your hand. He meets Isaac. Isaac was like, it was like meeting a celebrity. Isaac said, I'd rather meet him than Michael Jordan. I mean, just like a big deal for Isaac, you know? Isaac told him, he said, John, I listen to your stuff and I go to my school, the kids at school, and I add value to those kids because you added value to me. John was making a difference with a young man that wants to make a difference, doing things that make a difference. John Maxwell reaches around and grabs the back of Isaac's neck. And this old Christian pastor prays over this boy. He prayed that God would bless him with grace and strength. He defined a vision, but then he declared it. And he started to live a vision. And he wanted to make a difference in the world. With people that wanted to make a difference. Doing things that make a difference. So my question to you is, what is your vision? 6 years ago, we stood in Beverly Hills, California on a little stage with just a little group of people, and we freaking declared a vision. We are the model others will be chasing. We said this when we shouldn't have had enough audacity to say this. We didn't say we will be. We said we are the model that others will be chasing. We started working and plotting and how do you make this thing happen, and we started figuring it out. I look around this room, from the people that were there, Margie Ella is still in this room. Tony and Sarah Zalecki are still in this room. Amy Gleave is still in this room. Rick and Michelle Teague and Justin Sarah are still in this room. Everyone else is new from that first six years ago. And we said we're the model others will be chasing. They're going to follow us. We're going to disrupt this $187 billion industry. We will be the disruptors. We will be the ones that start the revolution. We will be the ones that rise up and kill the old model and launch and rise of social retail. We tried telling that. We were this big. No one was even there. They didn't know who we were. That's a declaration of a vision. Now, have you noticed a common theme this event? The common theme, we've done speeches. Have you ever been to an event where they do speeches and the speeches are like this? Listen, guys, change is part of business. I know it's hard, but you just gotta have a good mental attitude and be really grateful and work hard. You guys ever heard those speeches? Have you ever heard the speeches at the event when they're like, look, I know things suck right now, but they don't, but later, we're gonna grow. Has anyone ever you've heard those speeches? Have you ever heard the speeches of like, look, I know our volume's down by half, but one day we are gonna come back. And by the way, everyone be more grateful right now. Everyone be more personal development books. You guys ever heard those speeches? Yeah. Guess what speeches you've been hearing this weekend? You've been hearing speeches like, yo, this thing's about to freaking take off, bro. You're hearing this common theme like, it took us like 6 years to get to this point, and like, it's about to be game on up in here. Has anyone heard that speech this weekend? We don't pay daily, we don't pay next day, we now pay you twice per day. We've never launched this company with Go. We've never launched this company with sports nutrition and pre and post and rush and recover. We've never launched this company with a cohesive lean body sculpting system. We already have the best weight loss supplement of the year. We already have a product that we can do a post and start getting customers, and people can be in carpool lines, dropping babies off. Or they could be lay a kid down, or the husband can come home late at night and do a post and get people to say, what's up? And he can get a customer and get paid that day. That's now. What I'm sharing with you is this. This is just the beginning. It took us 6 years to get to the start line. All the hard work took us to get here. Now, in case you think, oh man, this is a little hype. Okay. There's macroeconomic trends. That all of the macroeconomic trends are leading right to where we already are and leading away from our competitors. If I was a competitor of our company, I'd be shaking in my boots right now. Because if anyone hears this story, they're ruined. When you hear what's actually happening, you're like, yo, I can't go do Blockbuster when I've seen Netflix. I can't do the yellow taxi cab when I've seen Uber. Like, I can't do the old model when I've seen the real model. Let me share this. The way that advertisers would get access to us, my friends, was mass media. They would just talk to you with everything they had. The macroeconomic trends are where we plotted out 6 years ago to land here. This is where the economy's landing. Everyone else is trying to figure out what we did 6 years ago. The macroeconomic trends led to mass media. This became so noisy that they started to hire celebrities. They're like, yo, if Christy Brinkley or Taylor Swift are doing it, then I'll do it, you know? And we would buy because of the celebrity. Guess what happened? The celebrity lost their luster. With the rise of online, the rise of the internet, and more specifically the rise of social media, there became this ubiquitous term. How many raise your hand and say yes if you've ever heard the term influencer? Yes. There was the rise of influencers. Does anyone know who the youngest female billionaire in the history of humanity is? The youngest ever. You know what she is? She's an online influencer. This is the new rise of online influencers. Now, here's what's interesting. The economy's already shifted away from influencers like her. She has less influence over you than she's ever had. Guess what happened? It was a micro-influencer. People that had like 50,000 Instagram followers, they're the ones, because it wasn't just like a following, it was like engagement, it was like real people. The economy shifted again. The macro trends shifted again. And guess where they shifted? They shifted right to where we already are. They shifted to nano influencers. People that have 2,000 followers or less. These are the ones, the authentic connections that are driving the global economy is nano influencers. People want real, authentic human connection, and they're going right to us. They're going right to our business model. They're going right to where we already are, because 6 years ago, there was an envision. And here we are, 2020, at the start line saying, baby, here we go. This is the beginning, my friends. It took us 6 years to get to the start line. Okay, you define your vision. You declare your vision. And number 3, you dedicate your life to your vision. Brendon Burchard wrote a book called High Performance Habits. And it's the world's biggest study in history of high performers. What makes a high performer? What they found is that when they asked high performers, what's your latest vision? What's your latest dream? High performers can answer that question 7 to 9 seconds faster than everybody else. Do you want to know why? Because they've defined it. High performers have defined the vision, they've declared it, and high performers, baby, they've dedicated their life to it. It's on the tip of their tongue. Remember, a dream in the back of your mind won't motivate you. It's got to be on the tip of your tongue, wake you up early, keep you up late, like the life that you want to live, the hunger that you have, baby, that should be burning in you so hot. A couple days ago, we celebrated in this country Martin Luther King Day. But you've never actually heard the real story. What is the speech he's known for? The I Have a Dream speech. No one's actually ever told you the truth about the story. So 12 hours before Martin did this in 1963 in August, he went into the hotel lobby with 7 of his closest advisors. The reason they did the lobby is they didn't trust the rooms because they were bugged. So they were like hiding in plain sight, crafting the story. And Martin Luther King was a former Baptist preacher. And he had been in small churches and in congregations, small meetings, person to person. And he was telling people about a dream that he had for the country, a vision that he had for the country. And his small group of advisors got together, 7 of them. They were crafting it. And one of them said, the way he articulated it, he was like an architecture, because we would kind of build the walls, like a house, build the walls, and those Martin would use his God-given gifts to fill all of it in. So I kind of crafted, what should we talk about? And Martin says, hey, what do you think if I talk about the dream? And Wyatt Walker, one of his advisors, goes, Martin, no, don't do the I have a dream thing. He said, it's trite, it's cliche, and you've already used it too much already. So Martin never put the I have a dream section in what became the I have a dream speech. My friends, when you define your dream, and you declare your dream, and you go dedicate your life to your dream, people will tell you that your dream is trite, it's cliche, and it's overused. In fact, I've traveled all over the world. I've spoken in 20 countries around the world. I've spoken in Asia, spoken all over in Asia. And they have an old Asian proverb that says that the nail that sticks up shall be hammered down. In Australia, I'm going to Australia in 2 weeks. In Australia, they have what they call the tall poppy syndrome. If the poppy flower grows up, guess what happens? It'll be sliced down. And here in the States, if there's 2 crabs in the bucket and one crab tries to crawl out, what does the other crab do? Pulls it down. If you define your dream and you declare your dream and you dedicate your life